This Haftarah is taken from the book of Judges and is a really wonderful, famous story of the birth of our strongest Jew. No one knows him because there's not so many of us. But who is it? It is Samson, Shimshon. And this story is chosen because we learn about the laws of the Nazarite. So, of course, we're going to hear a story about the most famous Nazarite. Although we don't choose a narrative where he's violent, we choose a story where he's born. And of course, this same story about someone who is not able to have a child appears many times in the Tanakh and the Hebrew Bible. Of course, Sarah, our earliest matriarch, same issue. The birth of Shmuel, our great prophet Samuel, same issue. And so we find this over and over. This is a story about the parents of who will be Shimshon, Samson. It has two characters, Manoach, which is the father, and sadly, Eshet Manoach, the wife of Manoach. She doesn't even get a name, which reminds us about something we need to fix in the world. The other characters are an angel, which I may do by putting a little bit of my tallis over my head. And the other character is God, who will be somewhere up there. So just look for that. We'll see if any of these props can help me make this Haftarah come to life for you even more. This Haftarah has something really interesting. The story of who is being told and how they're being told that they will have a child, Manoach and his wife. Each one responds a little bit differently. And I want you to think about, and we'll take a few minutes to discuss it afterwards, right? Why and how is each person told the unbelievable moment that they will have a child? And maybe why they're told in different ways and what it says about each person, the way they understand this amazing moment of blessing. One note for Hebrew. I'm going to read this dramatically, which is from my teacher, Jeremiah Kissel, a very fun way to read text. So if you want and you know a little bit of Hebrew, it's really not that hard, the Hebrew. If you want to follow in the English, he always says, look at just the reader, because that's the way these stories were told orally and maybe even dramatically. One note about the Hebrew. Ish is husband or man. Isha is woman. And then Isha, with a mapik hey, with a little dot in the hey, is Ishalah, is the man of hers, right? That's her husband. And it switches, and it's very confusing. So if you're following in Hebrew, just realize Ish, Manoach, the husband, Isha is his wife, and then Isha is her husband, her man, her husband. All right, I think we got all the characters. You've got your question to think about. And let's see if I can do this. You know, you'll let me know. And finally, this Haftarah is sponsored by Jane and Howard Epstein in honor of Wendy and Michael Epstein. And if you ever were going to sponsor Haftarah, it's got to be in the top 5. Here we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'neviim tovim ratzav v'dibreihem הנאמרים באמת, ברוך אתה אדוני, הבוחר בתורה ומשה עבדו בישראל עמל, ובנביאי אמת וצדק. ויהי איש אחד מצורע ממשפחת הדני, ושמו מנוח, ואשתו עקרה ולא ילדה. וירא מלאך אדוני, ויאמר אליך, הנה נא את עקרה ולא ילדת, והרבית ילדת בן, ועתה הישמרי נא ואל תשתי יין ושכר, ואל תאכלי כל טמא. הנה הרע ילדת בן, ומורה לא יעלה על ראשו. כי נזיר אלוהים, הנה הנער מן הבטן, והוא יחל להושיע את ישראל מיד פלישתים. ותבוא האישה ותאמר לאישה לאמור, איש אל האלוהים בא אליי ומראהו כמראה מלאך אלוהים נורא מאוד, ולא שאלתיהו מי זהו, את שמו לא הגיד. ויאמר לי הנך הרע וילדת בן, ואתה אל תשתי יין ושכר ואל תאכלי כל טמא, כי נזיר אלוהים יהיה הנער מהבטן ועד יום מותו. ונותר מנוח אל אדוני ויאמר, בי אדוני איש אלוהים אשר שלחת עוד יבוא נא עוד אלינו ויורנו מה נעשה לנער היולד. ישמע האלוהים בקול מנוח, ויבוא מלאך האלוהים עוד אל האישה, והיא יושבת בשדה. ומנוח אישה אין עמה, ויקום וילד, ותמהר האישה ותרץ ותגיד לאישה, ותאמר אליו, הנה נראה אליי האיש אשר בא ביום אליי. ויקום וילך מנוח אחרי אשתו, ויבוא אל האיש ואומר לו, אתה האיש אשר דיברת על אישה? ויאמר, אני. ויאמר מנוח, אתה יבוא דבריך, מה יהיה משפט הנער ומעשהו? ויאמר מלאך אדוני המנוח, מכל אשר אמרת על אישה תשמר, מכל אשר יצא מגפן היין לא תאכל, יין ושכר אל תש וכל טומאה לא תאכל, כי כל אשר ציוויתי תשמור. ויאמר מנוח למלאך אדוני, נצרה נעתך ונעשה לפניך גדי עזים. ויאמר מלאך אדוני המנוח, אם תעצרני לא אוכל בלחמך, ואם תעשה עולה לאדוני תעלנה, כי לא ידע מנוח כי מלאך אדוני הוא. ויאמר מנוח אל מלאך אדוני, מה שמך? כי יבוא דברך וכיבדנוך. ויאמר לו מלאך אדוני, למה זה תשאל לשמי? בהו פלים. ויקח מנוח את גדי העזים ואת המנחה, ויעל על הצור לאדוני, ומפליא לעשות, ומנוח אשתו רואים, ויהי בעלות עליו מעל המזבח השמיימה, ויעל מלאך אדוני בלהב המזבח, ומנוח ואשתו רואים, ויתלו על פניהם ארצה, ולא יסף עוד מלאך אדוני לראות אל מנוח ואל אשתו. אז ידע מנוח כי מלאך אדוני הוא. ויאמר מנוח אל אשתו, מות נמות, כי אלוהים ראינו. ותאמר לא אשתו, לו חפץ אדוני למיתנו, לא לקח מידינו עולה ומנחה ולא הראנו את כל אלה, וכעת לא השמיענו כזאת, ותלד האישה בן, ותקרא את שמו שמשון, ויגדל הנער ויברכנו אדוני, ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך. So I see the story very much in the same way, that this is a story about hope and about perception and about being open to possibility. Sometimes in life, we look at a situation, even one that looks bad, and we don't believe. And I would say Manoach is responding from a place of anxiety. He's told good news, and the first thing he can think about is, oh, how are we going to raise this child? What are these crazy rules? Who told us? Who is this? Who came to you? What's his name? Right? Manoach is responding from a place of anxiety. And many of us, including myself, often respond from a place of anxiety. We're just overwhelmed by the moment. He's being given the child that he's dreaming of all of these years, and he misses it. He misses the moment. He's lost in the trees. You can't see the bigger picture. And Eshet Manoach, she has a totally different understanding. She is opened to this moment, to the possibility of something different. And this is a reminder that when we look at something, when we look at it maybe through a different frame that we normally use, we can actually open ourselves to new possibilities. And out of this story, a hero is born to save the Jewish people from the Plishtim, the Philistines. And on a smaller scale, I think all of us, I'll speak for myself, I could use this more. Right? How can I reframe a situation and look at it as one that actually has an opportunity? And I was thinking about this service, trying to do some things differently, or even this Haftarah that I was trying to do. It's a little bit scary sometimes to have new elements, new perceptions, new understandings of how we relate to different communities. Think about all of us and how we might have evolved ourselves in our understanding of the LGBTQ plus community over the last few decades. But it's about being open and looking at the world from that sense of wonder and curiosity and possibilities and openness, that then you can be open to experiencing new ways of looking at the world, new spiritual experiences, new ways of relating to each other, as we are hopefully doing today, new ways of looking at the tradition in our community. I hope that becomes a blessing and a derech and a path for all of us to follow. Shabbat Shalom.